What's up, bro? Jackie, I think the 1,000's gonna hit, eh?
Yeah.
No,
I've set it up
Just
to
my
run,
opinion.
so that's good.
You know, we try
I don't know,
to cap
watching
these
the-
things, but yeah, we know how it happens.
The market, Sheldon. We are 1,000 people, bro.
1,000 people,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
1,000 people.
so the problem is with Zoom, we can only take 1,000. So we have to open. We're gonna run this. So for now, I think the way it's gonna work is if you're the first 1,000, then you're gonna be on Zoom and you're able to interact. And I think anyone above 1,000 will just watch it as a private YouTube live as well. But I won't be able to see them in person.
So welcome to everybody.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Let's just give it 2 more minutes, get everyone in, and we can get going. I still see there's people joining. And yeah, hopefully we should have a trade in, I'm hoping half an hour. A badass trade. I think that's I want a good one. I want us to all
Badass.
kill it on this one. Yeah, we have to hit a incredible roll over the next few weeks.
Into the snipers.
Into the sniper, bro. Yeah, guys. So the whole goal of this now is I love my shows and stuff, but I'm more starting to move to school. And I want to do a lot of these trading sessions. You know, I tried the live trading on YouTube, but the amount of manipulation and stuff happening, and it was just really hard for me to continue that model. But now I'm happy being able to do it like this, a little bit more controlled. And yeah, my heart's with school. My heart's with you guys. And if you've done school in code 1, code 2, code 3, I want you to be a part of this and for us to continue the journey. You've done the education now. Now it's time for us to put it all into play and to actually start putting some money in, start making some money, and let's just do something incredible. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're all at a whole nother level before, you know, we all want a bull market, but I'm sort of happy that it takes a little bit of time for us to get where we need to get. So when it comes, because it gets quite hard when it happens, when the market just doesn't stop going up, like it gets tough, guys. It gets really tough, and it tests you to a whole nother level. I remember, I think it was in Bitcoin, I think it's from 10,000 in like 5 months, it was at 65,000. Like it was crazy. It was crazy to see how you know, Bitcoin even 5x'd within, you know, 5 months. And then you got altcoins. I remember watching Theta. Theta was, I think, 40 cents, 30 cents, and it went to $16 in 3 months. So it's like it's quite crazy. So my goal's just to be here with you guys throughout all of it and just to get our mindsets ready. I think you all have the tools. I think you all have the capability. Now it's just time to get some experience in the game. And I think it's important for us to trade, to be active in this bear market at the moment, and just to get rid of all the little flaws and just to get to know yourself in the space. So when the real test comes, we're slightly ready for it. I don't think we'll ever be fully ready for a bull market, but we can get a lot more prep than the rest. And the sad thing is you're making money from 90% of the markets. That's why you can make a lot of it, because 90% of people will lose their money in the next bull market. And you know, we make money off of them, and that's the sad thing. We're all competitors, but we make money off the people that come and buy late, and that's how it works in this game. So this is going to be a start to something great, guys. Now I can, you know, if you are part of cohort 3, you're still busy going through some of the course. So I am going to go a little bit more in depth here, a little bit more of like proper trading, putting all my tools out there, taking the trades, putting risk to reward tools, putting stops. I'll run some accounts with you guys as well. Today I'll run a Bybit account. From the next one, I'll probably run 3 because I spoke about creating businesses within the course. I actually want to run 3 businesses with you guys for a few weeks. So, you know, have a car business, have a house business, and have a salary business, and actually run those 3 accounts from scratch. And yeah, that'll be a nice way for us to roll together. So I think I'll start it off now quickly and just give you guys a little bit of an update. Let's just see here. Can you guys see my screen? Just say yes if you can. Amazing.
Yep.
So right now, guys, I spoke about it on the show. I think we're just getting to an area where a temporary small bounce is going to happen, just because the bulls worked really hard to get here. And I think there's a little bit more offloading to go slightly higher. So for me, I do think we're going to have a small reaction if we break a trend now, just to this little trend over here for Bitcoin, which is probably around a 2 to 3% for Bitcoin. But this is obviously looking at the altcoins now, and let's jump to more smaller ones. This still for me, I spoke about it on the show. It's still a very great chart that I think you got a very high probability of winning this chart if you get it at the right time and winning this trade in quite a great way. But ultimately, a lot of these tokens have lost these trends. So I'll draw the trend over here.
Sheldon, sorry to bother you. Can we just mute everyone quick?
Go for it. Go for it.
Later.
Yeah, we'll go through. There we go. Yeah, we'll go through phases where we'll mute everyone, but then we will also go through phases where we'll unmute. You can ask questions, be part of the whole journey. So if you have a look here, a lot of these tokens, they lost support, and ultimately what I'm waiting to see now is a retest, and then I think there's a bigger dump possibly boiling and getting ready to be. We can see the Dixie strong and the stock market looking pretty weak. It's pretty safe to say that there can be a lot more blood in the streets. But for me, the way I simply just see this over here is I saw Cardano. Mark was looking strong. I thought the altcoins would go a little bit more, but it's clear that it's still Bitcoin time right now, and the alts possibly later. So their time will still come, but for now, they're obviously moving down with Bitcoin right now, and dominance is sort of ranging. So what I did see here was we were obviously trailing. We were making higher highs, higher lows. And now what we did for the first time is on the daily, we made a lower low. So ultimately, you either have the opportunity of getting the trend, trading the trend as it breaks. But then you do have the confirmation, and the confirmation is we have now secured the lower low definitely. And ultimately now what we want to see next is a lower high. And this for me at the moment is the trade that we want to be prepping ourselves for and getting ourselves into this trade. Now, this trade that I'm looking at taking now is probably on the 4-hour charts. I did a lot of analysis on all the timeframes, and it is still showing that the 4 hours is the best within the next week, 2 weeks to be trading. The daily you're holding trades for too long. So that's why we're not trading the daily, the 12-hour too, even the 8-hour. The 8 hours also holding it slightly too long, and the 4 hours perfect right now. It's just teaching you to trade the range right now. Make your 10, 15% get out, make your 10, 15% get out to the up or the downside. And I kind of got a feeling that that's what depression would be. It's the slow moving, gradually markets where we just range for a while. And, we basically do something like this. Slowly down. And if we can just get used to trading the right time frame and catching each range, we can make money in these times, and it's time for us to be quite consistent within these moves. So for me, looking at the first thing, it's hard for me to short right now if we're doing any leverage or something like that. And reason being is, let me get rid of this for now. There we go. Reason being is, look how many consecutive days. This is a long period of time that we've been running to the downside. We have a fantastic trend that's coming down, an easy trend. Guys, this is an easy trade. Like when it breaks and we close daily, let me just get rid of my WhatsApp, There we go. This is one we got to win. I need like 90% of us to win this one when it comes. I don't know if we'll get it today. I got another 2 for today. But ultimately, this has got to be one. But if you look here, RSI is completely tapped out. We look at the daily right now, completely tapped out. Now I'm trading on the 4 hour, but I'm making sure that the higher time frames are still pointing me in the right direction. So I know the daily is not the best time frame to trade on right now. Neither is the 12 hour or the 8 hour, but I'm still using their opinion to make sure I'm still fishing in the right spot. So I know if we look at the moment, if I have 12 hour at the bottom, daily at the bottom, let's see, 8 hours at the bottom and 4 hours at the bottom, I have all 4 of my McDaddies sitting at the bottom. So ultimately longs, I'm looking for some longs. Now, the only problem that we have at the moment is the market's quite accelerate, like the acceleration is pretty fast to the downside. So you never want to try pick the bottom. You know, you never want to just try pick the bottom. You actually just want to catch the change of momentum. That's it. So we don't know how far this move can go down, but we do know when it changes momentum and starts to do something different. And that's what we want to capitalize. So right now I am looking at a small long. Now, higher time frame, I'm still bearish. I still think we've lost trend. I still think things look pretty bad. And I think after this, we could go down to lower levels, all depending on where this finishes. If this finishes here, amazing. But let's point a different scenario out. What happens if it does this? You know, you can never count crypto out. It always does what it wants when it wants, and it always tends to do the opposite of what we think. So for now, I'm just looking at this little move. I'm not thinking about what happens yet just yet. We will see as it goes. But definitely, I've made my decision that longing right now and looking for a short-term long is the better scenario than the shorting at the moment. I kind of feel this was the time to short. And if we miss that, you got to wait for the longs. So I'm prepping for some longs at the moment. Now, the big thing that we want to have a look at within these longs is something very simple. It's something that comes to, we're calculating. And guys, do me a favor now. Everyone here has done school, right? We've all completed, or you're at that point, we all have a good understanding. Now what I need you to do is it's time for you to take your first step on your roadmap. That's what this first trade's about. This first trade we're about to take with each other, and the second and the third, this is how we now create your roadmap of getting from your first target to your second target. Do I have anyone here that will actually like to give me an example of what their first target is? Now, for example, you got $500, and ideally your goal is to make $20,000 in crypto or something like that. But you know, $500 to $20,000 is crazy, right? So I've always taught you guys about the step-for-step method. So the first goal is $500 to $1,000, right? That's the first step. Then from 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, 8,000. That first step is the important one that I want us to get going with. Let's get the first step of doubling our money for the first time. And once we double our money for the first time, then we can focus on the next step. So I just want to remind you, we're trading together, but I need you to use everything you've just learned in school now, and I need you to put it to action. I'm here to do that with you. I'm here to achieve that first step with you. Because like I said, the true skill comes within money and understanding how we can duplicate accounts. And you don't have enough money to get to your goal right now. So let's inflate your accounts slightly and let's get to step 2. Then when step 2 comes, you close those businesses, those extra businesses you created to get there, they close down. You reevaluate, you build new businesses, and then you go from step 2 to step 3. So whatever your roadmap may be, I like to use it as the doubling roadmap because it's just quite simple for me. And I like to think to myself, 11 steps from $1,000 gets me to $1 million. And there's a lot of stuff in between this that I got to work out and I got to figure out. That's fine. But I do like the simplicity of that, to be like, okay, if I do 11 steps correctly, I can get to that bigger goal, right? I just like when things are simple in my brain. Yes, there's more in there that I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. But when I see a simple method, all I need to know is 11 steps to get there. Like it makes me feel a lot better. It makes me feel like, okay, amazing. Now all I got to focus on is these first 2 steps. So if there is anyone, you can put up your hand or something like that to give not an example, but what's your first step? Because I would like to use 1 or 2 of you as well to help you because yes, I'm going to do it and my goal is to do it in front of you. But I also want to know like someone that's not a presenter and someone that's not a crypto guru to be doing it with me too. I want to show everyone how we can do this. Like that's the ultimate goal. So Jack, if you do see anyone that, Jürgen's here. Jürgen, how you doing, brother? See if we can unmute him there before we get in. So while you do unmute him there, let me go through some of the trades that I'm looking at taking. I'm just waiting for a little bit of a move. So who I have here as well, guys, is I got OG Craig and I have Jason. So this is supposed to be their AMA time. So get used to them. Remember, these are the guys that made me who I am, that gave me the shot, that taught me the basics, that were part of this journey with me. And they've never left me and they've been in my team ever since. And my true inspiration, guys that have been through war, they've already taken many bullets for us. Probably around about 600 to 800 Bitcoin together. They've taken those bullets for us. And we should truly listen to them. So that we don't,
I know before you spoke to Jürgen, that the chart you had before this one that had that constant downtrend. Were you showing, was it Bitcoin, or where were you showing that long string of down red candles?
this one here.
On Cardano, yeah. And I think you're on a higher time frame. Yeah, I'll look at that. I just wanted to add in there, because you mentioned a point, but I'm not sure that people are going to get it as easy as just saying it. You know, there's like, we always have this habit in trading, when you're seeing a downtrend line like that you constantly are looking for the bounce. And Sheldon said, you know, you made the point of saying, never try and catch a falling knife. And it's such a commonly used statement, but it is just so true. Because, I mean, if you look at that candle that was there, we had that drop down, the long drop down around, what's that, about March the 6th. You know, you might think further over, right? No, in this downtrend that we're in now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, you might go, well, that's it. You know, that's the bottom is in. And then look what actually happened after that. So it's such an important lesson because, you know, a lot of the indicators that we're using stochastics, we're using RSIs, and those indicators are there to try and show you when the bottom is in. But a lot of those indicators will just stay on the bottom for ages. And it's just such a big problem that I want everyone to get to understand is stop trying to find that reversal point. If that trend is doing that, like Sheldon said, you've got to expect that trend to continue until it isn't. But just beware because so many people
don't predict the markets.
Don't predict. You've got no idea. No one knew that Powell was going to say what he did on Tuesday evening our time.
Yeah, I didn't know Mt. Gox was going to come out and do that.
You know, and equally you can get something positive. So don't avoid picking these bottoms and trying to pick bottoms or tops because we have this tendency when it's going up. Okay, I'm going to short here, I'm going to short here, I'm going to short here. I know you guys haven't done leverage, but it's going to come across you. Or as it's dropping, I'm going to long here, I'm going to long here, I'm going to long here. Just be careful of it was one of the messages I want to bring. I don't know, Jay, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. The other point I want to add to it is that if you think about where these coins have come from, the end of 2021, and I'm going to use Phantom as an example, trading in 2021 at $3. And if you think that on the way down, wow, this coin is now $1, price has to go up now. It's your mind that's playing tricks on you because your mind is saying that this coin is now cheap, it's time to get in. But guess what? It carries on coming down. And, you know, we've seen, Craig and I have both been through 2 bear markets previously where coins have actually retraced by 95%. And your mind.
Well, where is Phantom now? Let's see here.
Well, we're down at 40 cents, but we hit to low.
Oh, we're 90% down, and at its low it was 95. It's crazy. But
Absolutely.
Here, everyone would have thought that's the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like there, that dollar, like you said.
No.
Yeah,
that's the problem, you know, and this concept, you know, because I do a lot of reading around mindset. You know, we've got, I don't know about everyone else, I'm just speaking for myself here. So, you know, I'm someone who always loves buying a bargain. I mean, Sheldon knows that. I am the negotiator and the bargain hunter. I never pay retail for anything. And, you know, and we have this mentality, you know, you go into the supermarket and you get, you know, he hands over, gives you buy 3, pay for 2, or whatever these things are. And we've got this mentality of looking for bargains. So when you're getting a dump coming, you think, oh, it's cheap here. It's cheap here. It's cheaper. Remember, with crypto or any trading for that matter, there's no such thing as cheap. There's no such thing as saying it can't go lower. And Luna was that example. I remember you when Luna collapsed, you still bought, I can't remember, but I think it was at about $1 or 10 cents or something. I mean, it was low.
$2, bro. I thought I was going to be rich. I was like, this is it. I'm done. Get the Lamborghini. And then, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so just be careful of that, guys. Sorry, I know Jürgens was there. I didn't want to jump in, but I just wanted to get that point through while you had that.
No, it's very true, and this is it, guys. Like I want to quickly just jump back to the psychology of it. We, in our own opinion, like we're allowed to have our opinion on where we think the market's going to go and these sort of things. That's great, but end of the day, we will never know. You know, we'll never. You may know. What, like a few times out of 10 you'll get it right, but you know, it's that random day where Powell speaks, or we have a random scam or Sam Bankman-Fried sort of thing that comes, and that's where it gets quite crazy. So the way we just tend to do it with the market is just go with the flow, and whenever you see something shift, so for example over there You know, go, something shifts, all of a sudden, boom, you're in, amazing. Then all of a sudden, something goes, okay, cool, go, something shifts, boom, okay, you're out, okay, amazing. Then we go over here, go. So you just follow, that's all you're doing. So we're just following and we're just letting it be. Now, the beautiful part about this strategy is when you're following this to the downside, and this happens on any time frame, guys. But this is weekly, you'll see it on all different time frames. 1 minute, 5 minutes, hour, doesn't matter. Okay, but ultimately, what's beautiful about this is because you're tracking it and you're just allowing the market to be, you don't know where this area is. It's unknown. It's unknown of where it can be. The only thing you're looking for is where's the crack and where's the shift. And when the shift happens, you want to be in. And that's it. You know, forever the market will move in 3 directions. And ultimately, if it's moving in one, when all of a sudden will it shift to this one? Or when will it shift to that one? And the only way you do that is by tracking the actual momentum. That's it. At some point, this will stop. It'll be finished. And then it will shift into this one. And then this will be finished. And then it will shift into this one. And then over here, it'll be finished. And it will shift into this one. And that's all that the market can do. It can only go 3 directions. So again, you simplify for yourself. The market only moves 3 directions. Nothing more. You don't need to know any more than that, than the 3 directions than what the market actually moves. That's great. So what we tend to teach, and why I've always loved the trends and all these sort of things, is allow the market to show you what to do next, more than you trying to tell the market where it's going or something like that. So by me doing this and just tracking it, I didn't know where it was going, but I knew when something changed. And the same thing, we went up. I didn't know where it was going. It could have went to $5. Could have kept going. It could have just kept moving and moving and moving and moving. Amazing. Until the day that it showed something.
Stop predicting, really stop. Just follow.
It's no predicting. It's just following it. And by doing that, this is what's going to help you in a bull run. Because in a bull run, you don't know where the top's going to be. Everyone's going to say, and I will probably say that too, I think Bitcoin's going to 200K. Amazing. But ultimately, that line is the only one that's going to tell you when something shifts. Now, the only difference that you just got to get used to is this line over here. For example, Phantom went to $3.5, right? But it only told you at $2. So there was a big range you didn't catch. Okay. And then that's why it's so important to be patient for where you get in, because you got to give yourself that play. So your goal is not to get the exact top, but you literally nailed it at the perfect time where it changed. And if you can just do that consistency, that's the amazing thing. So for example, again, from here, Phantom goes to $5. It then comes down and only breaks the trend at $4.5. Oh, you missed that little piece over there. Ultimately, you caught the main range. And by doing that, you're going to be successful for a very long time when it comes in crypto. Now, the same thing that happened here. We went down, tracked it, something changed. Okay. Now, you don't know how long that change is going to happen for. Okay. You don't know. That's why the trend line's fantastic. Because the change happened there. The market did something different. And guess what? Yet again, you track that up and the change came earlier than what you thought. But it came and the signal was in front of your face. Something shifted. Then the perfect example of what I just said. The market can not only just go in one direction, it shifts. And look at the big difference, what happened this time. So the difference this time, we were in a volatile market that was giving us big gains up and down. And then all of a sudden, look what happened. We now shifted into a different market, a sideways ranging market. And the same thing, you can look again. Over here, up, we lost range, went down. From there, we went down. We went up, we went up. From there, up, we went down. Okay, now this is just higher time frame, guys, but basically showing you the tracking of each and every single one. And this is all the little skills that I'm going to teach you and we're going to put into use, you know, when it comes to this. And look at the same thing over here now. Okay, now where are we at right now with Phantom? We're waiting for that. So you're just using something that flows with the market. And guys, this is just going to be something that's going to teach you so much. Now, the important thing about this is to actually listen to it. And when I'm done with this, this is where I think Craig and them will, while I'm busy setting up and prepping the trades for us, Craig and them can jump. Oh, did we get a small bounce or what? Where are we at here? Wait, let's see here. Okay, we might get it, guys. Okay, bounce and breakout trend. Let's take some trades. I saw Phantom did it.
Sheldon, you've got Jürgen there, so I'm just jumping for a second. I've got the tracker people here. I'm going to be literally 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Ooh. Okay. Phantom. Okay, Jürgen, what's up?
Hey, thank you. What's up with you guys? Thank you for having me, Sheldon, and everybody.
A pleasure, brother. What's happening? How's it going? So, how's it been? Which cohort were you in?
Cohort 3.
Oh, you now? Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm
You're fresh.
I'm fresh
Fresh.
and excited.
Fresh and excited.
Yeah.
So I'm just prepping it quick. I might actually take this little cheeky one here. So let me just prep and see. Let me double check. So same thing, guys. I just showed you the weekly. So you're going just 2 secs there, brother. Just sit there on this other side. I'll bring you in straight away now. I think let's just try get a trade going in the back end while we teach. I think that's the fun part, right? We teach and we take trades. So as you can see, I just showed you the weekly, right? Now I jump to the 1 hour and I see the exact same thing. Look here. Right? Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Track the flow. Track the flow. When the flow changes, something shifts. When the flow changes, when something breaks, something shifts. Okay, and you just keep flowing with understanding. There was the flow up there, and we had the small flow here. So you never know the size of it, anything like that. But ultimately, you can see what you're doing. Okay, amazing. Now let's jump in. Phantom, you dirty. Luckily, we got theta. We got a backup, guys. Here's our backup. But Phantom's looking pretty ready for a nice little move. Now, this is what's great. I love this dump right now. I love it because it's bearish as a whole, and we're probably getting way more blood that's coming later on. All that I love is look at these damn percentages. Boom. 15% down. Amazing. Now, what's fantastic about crypto is down is less than up. For example, 15% down, 16% down, up, higher, 18 to 20%. Don't ask me why. Obviously, you can work it out and these sort of things, but our percentage up is always better than our percentages down. But at least with shorter, we can make something when the market goes down. But for now, let's use our tools and let's use the way we would set up a trade. So now, the first thing we do, we're breaking trend. Okay, Kyle will sort it out for you. Sorry, guys. Run's prepping for your show. So if we look over here now, first thing, great trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically on the 6 touch, breaking now. Amazing. Second thing now, we take this horizontal. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to prove that right now it's time for higher highs and higher lows, right? Because lower lows, lower highs, these are things that we've been repeating on this way down. Very simple. There's a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, boom. Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. So what are we looking for here? Break a trend, higher high. Amazing. What would happen probably after is from here, quick higher high, quick lower, higher low, and then we should start to make our way up. Okay. Secondly, let's go look at some RSIs, which we did have a look at. 4 hour, just crossing to the bottom, amazing. 8 hour, because I want to know how long should I hold this trade for. 12 hour and daily. Wow. Okay. All of them. It's not often that we get all of them at that point. Now, 1 hour is getting quite high. This is important to talk about. Okay. Which means you are strategizing and you are taking this trade. Let me just make this a little bit cleaner for you guys. There's the higher high points, which means you are taking this trade in a 2-step method. Okay, the first step is this will probably make its way up, and then there is going to be a higher low pullback. There's definitely going to be a higher low pullback. Okay, but who knows how big this wave could go first. So I actually want to double whammy this trade. I want to take 2 trades here. The first one is going to be this original one over here. And what it is going to do now is it will break up and it will start to make a little trend to the upside. But I do know at some point, this is going to come down. And then we'll go up again. My higher time frames are still up, and it's basically showing that this can be 3 days of bullishness. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean we're going and breaking the highs and things like that. No, it just means we have had 6, 7, 8 days of downwards, 2, 3 days of upwards. Amazing. And currently, the market's moving in about a 10% to 15% range. So I have a little bit of an understanding. But the way I want to look at it now is I want to look to take the first trade when that trend breaks, oh, sorry, let me just draw that better. So I want to take the first trade when that trend breaks and then out. So my first trade might be a little bit of a smaller profit one, and then the higher low, amazing, and then it's the bigger one. Okay, so do you see how I strategize and give myself a little bit of an understanding of what it should be and what it should look like? Okay, so that I understand. If you guys do want to dip your toes now in entries, I won't get anywhere above the 3660, so 0.366. I won't be getting anywhere above that, and I wouldn't be doing more than 40%, 50% of my entry now, and I wouldn't be doing more than a 5x right now. I wouldn't just yet, guys, until we're a little bit more. I'll explain to you when we can up that or things like that. If you want to trade leverage, shorter time frames. I am explaining this now, so hopefully I can get the trade, but let me explain it first. And if you guys want to play a part of it, amazing. But now I have understanding that this should be a 2-trade method, okay? Because the 1 hour is at the top, so the 1 hour is going to come down at some point. But we have had this long acceleration. I could expect a nice little quick push in the 1 hour. But I was still going to go up a little bit more, and then we start a retracement, and then we catch the next one. Okay. So the first thing that I want to see now, let's work at. So I have an understanding of what I want this to be. Amazing. Now let's work on TPs and work at the actual understanding of how to take this trade. Now I want to take my previous highs over here, and I want to take all my horizontals, and I want to match them up. Right. I want to see where this move could actually go. There's the lows, that one matches up there, and that one there. Amazing. So I got all my different areas of where this can go. Secondly, what do I want to do as well? I still think this is, I still think we're bearish on the higher time frames. I definitely do. So I'm not looking at a higher high just yet. So what I do is I take my Fibonacci and I take it from here to the bottom, top to bottom, right? And I get an idea where's my 618. Okay. Secondly, what do? I look at what horizontals match that. Is there a horizontal that matches that? Yes, there is. So for now, as it stands, I have 2 major indicators that are indicating this area over here as a potential of where this trade can get for my TP. Now, remember, when this trade takes off and I get the success of this trade or anything like that, I then I'll have a trend line that will give me an emergency view of getting out, right? So for example, it does this, and I got a trend, and the point, you got to get out. You know what I mean? Because yes, you have your idea of where it can go, but the market's telling you something different. It's telling you it's coming just short. So that's why you will initially put that in. Now, I have an idea, and I always trade on my idea. So secondly, now I want to buy and I want to take a trade in this area. Amazing. So let's go see where our stops would be. Our stop would be under this previous low over here. Why? Because if I'm looking to make my first higher high here, I don't want to make a lower low, right? So amazing. Did anyone get the trade? Put in the chat if you got the trade. If you did take it. If anyone did take it, let me know so I can see who's taken it. Amazing. So now I know 2.3%. Now it's very simple, guys. Take your trade over here and just say, okay, I got a 2.3% stop loss. Stop loss. Amazing, right? Now, if I am trading leverage, okay, and I'm taking this on a 5x, you've got to take that 2.3% and you've got to times it by 5. And basically, it's going to give you around about 12%, or probably around 11%, but call it 12. Okay, so let's just make it 12%. That's what you're risking. So yes, it's 2.3% on the chart, but you have 5 times more money than what you actually have, right? So now you know that's your risk is 11. So if you got $100 in there, you're risking $11 to $12. Okay, maybe $13 with fees. We'll see how that goes. Now let's look at reward. Reward, you're looking at a 10.5% to the upside. So same thing over here. Now you take this and you say, okay, cool. So this is my risk. Now let's go over here and let's say 10.5% times 5 gives me basically around 55% is my reward. Okay, so yes, risking in that range for that amount of reward. So if you put in $100, look at making $55 on your first trade. Now remember, if you're starting with $100, your goal is to get to $200, right? $55 already on your $100 is already $155. One smaller trade after that, you're already at your $200 mark. Now, I do teach you to do spot, margin, and that. But the way I think would be really good in this session, I think let's start off with one account. And on the next session, we open 2 accounts and 3 accounts, and we start to build. Let's get one account going. And then once that's going, we can start adding the rest, and I can start to show you how we run these all together. So if you are doing any leverage now, or you are trading, you can trade on a 1x too, guys. So if you want to put some money in, you don't have to put any X at all. Okay, that just means you're making this percentage. So if you put no X's and you're on a 1x, it means you're making 10%. So you put in $100, you make $10. You don't have to have, and if it's no important money for the start, guys. On this first session, no important money at all. Money to get it right. That's the goal. So $100, like max, like these sort of things. So just so you can get a good understanding. Okay, so now we have understanding of what this is and what our risk to reward actually is. And the good thing that I want to see is it's above 3. So 3 is my minimum. 5 is more or less where I want to be. But for me right now, it's worthy taking the trade. And it's a bearish. It's not even like it's me going for the highs or anything like that. Who knows? When this gets up here and it starts to play out and you have a trend, okay? You have a trend, amazing. And it decides to break it. Fantastic, you're still in. It's even more now. Amazing. You see, so we got a method that could get us even more than what we expect, but we have a very bare minimum. Now I know it's worth taking the actual trade. So stop loss under the previous low over here, which is more or less around about the 0.356. In that sort of area, I will mark the buy zones over here. So it's the step-for-step method to teach you guys. And here is the basic target. It is worth taking the trade now with my risk to reward. So that's a great thing to do. And just understand, use your money now and understand that what the X's do, how to actually calculate. The worst thing you want to do is take a trade and not realize the risk you're taking to realize, oh shit, it was more than what I expected or less than what I expected. So now use this to exactly what you want. Second thing again is remember, start off, and if you want to learn this whole roadmap thing, like I said, start off with $50 now or $100. The goal is to get $100 to $200. That's the first step. We can do this in 2 trades. From here, we can do this in 2 trades. From here, we can do this in 2 trades. Over here, it starts to get a bit different. Because when we start to get here, we start using less leverage. Because the problem is with leverage, you're just using more and more and more money. And I remember when I was playing with $100,000 on like a 5X or a 6X, I was moving the market myself. And that becomes a big problem. So when you start getting to higher levels, you start reducing a lot of the leverage. So the leverage is mainly used in this phase over here. Over here, it starts to go down quite quickly. And by the time you get anywhere at step 6, 7, you've got no leverage at all, which is great. That's where you want to get and how you want to get on the level. So for the first trade, guys, while I set up the second, I'll put this in quickly. Jackie, would you be able to, what groups are we currently using to alert everyone?
So right
All
now
3 cohorts.
we got the general chat in Discord, which alerts everyone from the school.
Okay.
Jackie can screenshot it.
I can just put this in the chat, right? This chart, just so in case someone wants to see it a little bit more closer or something like that. Because I'm basically going to give you quickly the price range. So 0.36, 0.3645, 0.36, 0.3645. Is that correct? 0.36. Okay. This is my entry zone. Fantastic. My stops. Now, guys, put your stops in that area. Everyone putting their stops in the same place, not good. So in that area, work out your risk, just spread them out. Stops. Let's do stop loss. Amazing, which is basically, let's have a look. It looks good already. Let me know if you're in, guys. Put in the chat if you are in. 35.6, 0.356. Okay, and a TP is basically 40 cents. Take profits 0.40. Amazing. Let's put this up over here, and let's just. Sorry, guys. Let me just set this up so everyone can see it.
Some of the questions there, I'll just talk while you're doing that, Sheldon. Saying, Sheldon, are you in? Sheldon's busy trying to do all this for you. He hasn't got time to get that trade.
Yeah, I'll try to get it in now, guys. I might buy it a little bit later, but I'll try to get it in now. Let me just get this.
I'm just, while you're doing that, Sheldon, so some of the people asking which exchange is that on, you can always see it on the trading view where he's charting it, but obviously you use the exchange that
Yeah, so I'm in, so I'm going to use Bybit. So let me go to Bybit. I have a higher range state to trade. Let's see if states is ready. Oh, okay. This is the next one's coming. The market look good. Look at the bounce. Nice. Nice. Okay, Phantom's nearly gone. It's gone for now, guys. If you never got your entrance, it's gone for now. We're going to prep now for the theta one. Okay, so let me post this.
So if you post it in the Sniper announcements channel, you should be able to share it with everyone. Send you a link on WhatsApp.
My Discord's not working on my computer. Can I put it in here on the...
Put it in the WhatsApp and I'll share it for you.
Okay, I'll do that for you now. I'll try to put it just so everyone can get it now. It means the trade is out of the buy zone right now, but the theta one should be ready in the next 5 minutes because you can see it's gone. You see it's what I mean by it's gone. It's already working.
It's too risky.
So your risk is getting more now if you enter the trade now. But remember what I said. It's coming again just now. So we'll have another attempt.
And that's why I never FOMO into trades, guys, because as soon as you take a FOMO, let's say you bought now, suddenly your stop loss is significantly bigger. Your whole risk to reward ratio changes.
I actually want to go and trade here. Yeah, so I got a theta one. I got some Phantom here, which I'm going to sell because this was on a spot. Over here, so amazing. There's it there. Because I'm going to take a fresh trade with you guys as well on this one. There, 100% market. Okay. So Phantom. It's sold.
And that comment from Happy, no, your risk to reward changes completely because your stop loss is significantly lower. The whole ratio changes if you don't get it in the entry box. That's why let a trade go. There's always another trade. Always. Soul breaking, someone saying ADA about to go.
Yeah, market looks heated, guys. Looks good. So I'm just trying to figure out your why. So I've upgraded my Bybit to this unified, guys. Unified. I'll teach it to you later. Don't do it now, but I'm on unified now. I'm on like the very advanced Bybit.
Yeah, don't do it, guys, until we figured it out. We're still playing.
Yeah, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. It's a new tool, new thing that's come, but don't do it yet. Don't upgrade your accounts. Okay, amazing.
Don't FOMO, Matt. I know FOMO is real, but don't.
No, wait. Relax.
Don't.
If you FOMO, you're shooting yourself in the foot. That's where you get hurt. Like here's another one. Relax. There's more coming. So I'm currently in why is this not selling now? Okay. Cool. Did you guys get the chart? I didn't see if anyone was in the trade. Sheldon just for founder. Okay. Phantom pumping.
Lido LDO looks like it might just be getting there. I don't know if others haven't run, but Lido could be another option. Sheldon LDO.
Okay, yeah, theta. It's looking good.
But everyone then goes and pumps it, so you buy something else.
Nah, not here. This is not enough people, which is good. I don't like that.
Phantom.
Okay, I'm going to start prepping. If you want to answer, guys, ask questions if you want. I'm going to start prepping the
question
theta
about
trade.
that Sheldon's going too fast. We've got to move quickly, unfortunately. So because the trades are moving as he's typing. So that's
it gets better. Just be here. It gets better. You get used to it.
I see you're going to fill up a Zoom shortly, so that's good. I don't know if you've picked up any other questions from the side there, Jay.
Ask questions, guys. Ask questions. So you have to.
And you can't send us direct messages because we can't find the message you've asked us to reply to. So rather put it in as a message to everyone and someone can help answer. I had a few guys sending me direct messages, but I can't even find a message. Why do you wait for the first resistance to break? So if you're not picking it up really on the bottom from the stochastic, your break is your only way.
No, you don't wait for so the trend should, remember, my idea is the trend broke. So the resistance is going to break. What is the trend telling me? The trend telling me that we should make a higher high now. So it's not that I'm waiting for the higher high to come out. It's the trend's breaking now, which means it should break the high. So I'm trading that. I'm trading to my structure, to what remember, we're trying to slightly predict, or we're trying to slightly see ahead. So if we break this trend, what does that mean? It means for the first time, we should make a higher high right now. So I'm trading that, which means I'm buying it now and I'm putting my stop loss below, because that's what we should do next. You can't wait for it to break because then it's gone, right? That's why you can't buy Phantom right now. It's gone. It's in the profits. It's finished. Now it's moving. But you can get theta. So guys, if you want, not much time. I've got a bit. Theta's breaking right now.
So Dedrick V again. So if you look on the Crypto Banter YouTube channel under masterclasses, Sheldon's masterclasses, there's pretty much most of the exchanges. There are detailed tutorials about how to use leverage and spot. So that's where you're going to get that information.
So guys, last chance with theta now. It might be gone pretty soon. So small leverage. If you don't know what you're doing, very little, very little, very, very little. Warm up with us here. Stop loss. I'll give you the stop loss now, but the stop loss is going to be around about a 1.7 to 2%. So it's going to be over here. And our TPs are around about 6-7%. So our risk reward's good. We'll work on. I'm busy setting this trade up. So if you want, probably got about 30 seconds for now, and then I'll let you know that everything's ripping. Everything's ripping. How's Phantom doing? Yeah, ripped. Nice. Cool.
The Carver's still doing well, man. Very well.
Cool. You can continue this so long. Just give me a few minutes just to get this trade set up.
Almost
Okay, cool.
capped out, guys.
Zoom Jackie is capping out, so I'm actually going to run to another one. How long are you staying in the trades? You know, that really is dependent on you in terms of where your take profit is, or your stop losses and the time frame that you're trading on. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through questions.
Just remember, we have to draw that trend line. A break of the trend line means we need to get out.
Score trend to theta, take profit, instructions of us and when to use. Okay, so Anthony, your question is quite detailed, very difficult to give a quick reply, but spot really, you know, let's just start on the top side. Your perps or your futures is your high risk money. So you really should only be putting money in there that you've made from your spot trades, because it's as you've written it there, spot margin, perpetual futures, your risk goes up exponentially on all of those platforms. So you've got to be aware of the amount of money that you put in, and don't go gambling in it, you know. So try and make your money in spot and then use that money in your futures to try and make profit on to trade that. And generally, you know, spot is your longer term type portfolio. Your futures are what we use really for paying bills, quick in, you know, especially with the volatility in the market at the moment. I mean, really paying bills, smaller targets right now, especially with the market. I hope that sort of helps. Jay, can you add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't take all of your spot cash now put into futures. Work on maybe a 5% out of your spot to put into futures once you got to a level that you're comfortable with trading.
I did see a question there regarding how much of your leverage trade portfolio that you actually use.
I said 5% maybe.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different thinking on that. Depends obviously on your entire amount of capital. So if you've taken some money from a spot trade and you put it into, let's just say you've got $1,000 spot trade, you made $100, you take that $100, you put it into your futures. You need to work out, because if you put in 5%, it means you'd have to get 20 trades wrong before you liquidate, or before you lose your money. If it was 10%, you've got 10 trades, etc. So you have to look at your risk potential there, but obviously be more conservative. I've been trading Bitcoin for a while, but managed to take 3,000 to 12,000. Wow, I bet over 11 or so successful trades yet. I'm nowhere near the profits I should have. Like, I'm not sure why. So what you do have to remember, guys, with perpetual and futures trading, I know a lot of you haven't done it on the course yet, but I am just addressing some of the questions here, is really, let's just say you've got $1,000 in a futures trading account. What you really should be doing is that if you take $1,000 and you make money off of it, take that profit out and send it back for your expenses. Keep it at a fixed level, because you might be lucky like the guy here, Spiro, and take 3,000 to 12,000. But what if your next trade you lose all 12? So don't just give yourself even that opportunity. It's very high risk. Take your money out and move it to somewhere else. Just literally move it to a different account, a different exchange, a different wallet, so that you are capping that amount. Then if your $3,000, let's say, drops to $2,500, you now know I've got to get back to $3,000 and above 3,000 before I can take money out again. So use it as a way to.
And another thing there, Craig, is that the whales and the institutions, exchanges, they look at the leverage trades. They see where the liquidity is, the market in that direction to capture liquidity.
Yeah, that question there from Nitpal, sorry, I did see it earlier. I know when Sheldon took that trade on Phantom, that the stochastic on the 1 hour was at the top. I was watching it myself. But he was either looking at, so if you look at the 1 hour, the stochastic is on the roof. If you looked at the 15 minutes, however, we curled, not quite at the bottom, but we'd made that turn there. I'm just having a look at 4 hour stochastic is only coming up. So it's always, you've got to go back and listen carefully to the lessons of Sheldon on the different time frames. So at this point in time, I mean, we've been kind of expecting today that we would get some sort of a break like this, and I'm glad that it has actually happened while you guys are on, because there's no better way to learn than when the market is actually active. And we were looking for these break of trends. So like if I look at Phantom 4 hour stochastic has really just cooled up nicely from the bottom now. Yes, I can see that the 1 hour is on the roof and it is a concern. However, the 15 minutes is going up. So you need to trade your time frames, what works for you. So if you were a 1 hour trader, yes, you wouldn't. So it is a tough one, but to keep an eye, on the different time frames. So I'm always looking at daily 4 hour, 1 hour, and then 15 minutes for the entry. At what point do you move your stop loss up to break even? No, it's not based on it. So as soon as you've got to move away, remember, this is talking specific leverage trading. If you get a break and you manage to get in on that Phantom trade leverage, and you get a break up like that, get your stop loss to entry as fast as possible. You want to reduce risk. You need to get rid of your risk as fast as you can, because, as I said, you are going to take knocks, because that's the name of the game, especially with leverage. With spot trading, you can be a little bit more flexible because your losses are not that big. Need to go on, waiting for retest. Okay, when you start, the trend is breaking. Okay, so one of the ways you can handle that, William, is if you draw the trend line, and obviously remember the trend lines are slightly different based on the different time frames, but just to say you're using an hour trend line. So as you see it actually breaking, you can take 50% of your trade is one of the strategies and wait for it to break. And then when it comes in retests, because often when it retests, because we're breaking a trend line that's when it retests, it often it comes in a little bit lower where it retests, or hopefully then put in a second amount. So you can do that. Can you look at me? Sorry, I'm not looking at any charts right now. I've taken 250 to $1.70 and $1.70 to $18, and now I'm at $14.60. Okay, Jeff, at least you're learning, bud. Remember, the learning always happens in the losses. And yes, if you take losses, and we all take losses, guys, remember, this is the name of the game. It's what's called the zero-sum game. Always remember, when you are buying a crypto at a certain price, you thinking there's an opportunity. Always remember, on the opposite side of the trade is someone who's selling. He's got a different idea to that same coin that you're busy trading with. It's known as zero-sum trading. So always bear that in mind, is that there's always the opposite end of the trade. Now, when you do take a knock, because you are going to take knocks, and you need to understand that and accept that, you don't need to blow you out of the water. Just understand that if you don't take the learning out of your loss, then the loss was actually pointless, because then they weren't school fees. If you actually take the learning out from the loss, you've actually paid school fees, but you've learned something. Write it down. Put it down on a whiteboard. Put it down on flashcards. Put it down, but somewhere that you read it, not just write it down and forget about it, because you'll find that the mistakes you make today are the mistakes you make tomorrow. The mistakes that I was making in 2017, I still make them today. As much as I have them written here on a whiteboard, I make them because we just creatures of habit. You know, it's my personality, you know.
Craig, the important point there is you mentioned that for every side of the trade, there has to be somebody else doing the opposite. So when you're buying, somebody's selling. And when you're selling, somebody's buying. Now, your stop loss also, you have to think about that. You know, you've got a trigger and also a price point that you want to sell at. That's if you activating your stop loss under limit. Now, just think about it. There needs to be a gap between your trigger and your limit because there has to be buy orders in that range in order for your stop loss to actually go through. If there is nobody there to buy up your stop loss could fail. You always have to think about that.
Good question there on Fib 618. So you need to really be watching a lot of Sheldon shows. You spoke about it even on the YouTube today. 618 is what's known as a golden ratio. It is generally a very good place for coins to bounce. Nothing guaranteed. So you've got that. Stop losses. Psychology of traders. It's psychology of traders. You're right, but Suzanne, good point. It's the psychology of traders. That's what 618 works. Yes, but that's why all of TA works. And that's why you always have to be careful of the you know, it's quite a weird concept because we're all learning the same thing, so we all do the same thing. And the problem is that the whales also know what we're going to do, and they often trade that against us. So that's why stop losses are so important. But yeah, good point, Suzanne. Everyone knows what you think. All traders tend to do the same. Can you type a big exchange? Well, we've got a lot that's reserve. I mean, we've got so many now, and Prime XBT is the new one that's come on board, which is going to enable us to take synthetic type trades on oil, gold, etc. as well. So we've still got to get ourselves sorted on that end. But the reverse on me. Yeah, I think that's in Divinity. I haven't read the whole thing clearly, but remember something. Once you've got the basic concepts of what you've learned, and really everything that you've learned on the school really is what you need to know. You know, the problem that you have as a new trader is you're constantly looking at different people and what they're saying. What then happens is that you start A, adding more indicators on your chart, and B, you start mixing up strategies. So you think that having like a soup type mix with a bit of Sheldon and a bit of you know, Kyle and whoever other YouTube you get there is going to work out. It's not. You're going to land up in a bigger mess than you ever did. Remember, keep it simple. Simple is the best way to this. In terms of it, I mean, we all know that, Joe. I mean, I've spent in the past hundreds of dollars on some fancy, literally hundreds of dollars. I mean, Jay and I have done it all. Every group, every indicator, we bought the whole lot in the beginning. Only to find out that pretty much what we show you is what we actually use. And it's taken years to do that, to come full circle, right, Jay?
Absolutely. Keep it simple.
I remember when with TradingView, I kept buying the higher level of package because it kept running out of the number of indicators I could have on my chart. So now you really only need to have a reasonable number on your TradingView and rather buy it because you want more alarms, let's say, you know. Stick with your time frame, exactly. Great to ever mention that. Sorry, the questions are running quite fast. Can we find out the good trade opportunities? I think we're watching. There's a little pop, so we just got to see what happens with it. It's difficult to see now. See, Phantoms seems to be looking nice.
Can you guys see my chart? Okay, hopefully we get that higher low. So what we're going to do, guys, is who's in? Firstly, pop in the chat if you're in. If you're not in just yet, you have the secondary trade to be getting into. So what we're going to probably look at for now, just because the current market we're at, is this pump that we're going to have, or that we're currently having now. We're going to TP on this pump as it makes its way up, because I think there's a two-step to this trade, as I said previously, on both of them. I think we're going to have a little push up now first, but then I do think we're going to come back again. And we don't want to waste the time. We want to make our first successful trade, make some money, and then I think there's a secondary one. So I'll give the setup for the secondary if you missed the first for now. But I think we are going to look at it. Let's get some take some profits. You know what I mean? Let's make some money within the game first, and then we'll get the next. But so far, like, you understand the trends. You understand why we try to catch the ones, all the RSIs at the bottom, why we fishing in this area. You see, like, it starts to understand how you can become good at trading, and you can become pretty good when you just simplify it and you're patient for the perfect setup. I spoke about these little ones. You know, wait till we get the big one. And this is, I'm telling you, this will be a big one, but this can only maybe be tomorrow. But this Cardano one is going to be a nice one, because I just gave you 1 hour charts, right? This is a very high time frame. Look at this. There's still a big one coming. So warm up with these smaller ones, because in the next day or two, there's going to be a nice one, you know, a really good one where you can get from step 1 to step 2 pretty quickly. And imagine you can use these 2 little steps these 2 trades now that I've given you now to get to step 1. You know, imagine you can get, where is it? Imagine you can get from here to here on your $100, $200 on these 2 trades. And then the next trade, we can get from 200 to 400. You know, then we 2 steps already. So remember, the hardest part is step 1 to step 5. After step 5, we can start to flow and it starts to get easier. It's basically bigger steps every time, and then you'll start to see the progress as we go. So the best way, we just got to get to step 5. You know, that's the big one we got to get to first. So we have the opportunity now to get to step 2, and then we can have the opportunity to get to step 3. And think about it, you know, the way you chart that out now is I could use this little move over here to get to step 2, then I can get to step 3 on this big move, and then, you know, realistic wise, we should have a big dump, right? And this should be the move to get us from step 3 to step 4. And then after that, when we start to break again, you know, step 5. And ultimately, that's how we build it. And that's the goal. There's got to be a lot of, so guys, I'm just going to warn you now. And this is probably for the Sniper School team. This is for Craig and Jay, for everyone. This thing is probably going to blow up. You know, I'm just a simple person that's trying to jump on and just try to trade in front of the audience. But, you know, in this realistic world, the way it works is, people will share this, people will share the links, people will share these things. And we might get to a point where this gets a couple thousand very quickly again, as it goes. And what my goal is, the first 900 or 1,000 people we have now, you know, I want you guys to get to the high steps. And the people that come later, you know, they just fall quite far down the ladder with all in that. Just keep focused. Where we're starting at right now. Well done on being here. Well done on taking your first trade. It feels great, right? It feels amazing. And this is a very exciting journey for all of us. So I just want you guys to do it. There's a couple hundred people here. Come on, let's get a couple hundred people that do something incredible, like crazy. The late people, other people are going to come. They're going to come later, and that's how it works. But as I said, this is great. This is great that we took the first step now. And so far, hello, Phantom. We're moving. Let's have a look at Phantom. So soon we're going to update our stop loss, and soon you can put your stop loss to entry. And then you've made your first successful trade with no risk, and you can be very proud of yourself for that one. So yeah, soon I'm probably going to call the TPs a little bit earlier for this, because like I said, I think it's a 2-step trade. I still think there's another entry coming, but let's see. This may blow up quickly. This may just run. Because we've had so much red, it may just run up here. Like, we'll see. So don't buy now. If anyone's entering now, there's no buyers right now. This is why you got to be here early, be part of it early, so I can get you some good entries. For those for theta, guys, just remember, I just want to give you, here we go. So I'm just going to leave this on screen. I'll actually share it as well. For now, these are the TPs. So remember, if you go to Bybit, this was a longer, higher time frame position that I took. You see this little thing over here, TP stop loss. So you guys even got way better entries than me. TP stop loss. Just make it easy for yourself. Put your stop loss, your take profit, and put your TP. So just use this little tool over here, and you'll find them on a lot of the exchanges. Put your stop loss and your take. Look at this on the daily. Whoa, let me go back there. It's crazy where we're fishing, right? Look here. Like, this is the daily. Look where we're fishing. Just that you see the greenness now and you see the money now. Like, look how small this little candle is. It can get quite wild from where we're actually getting. And who knows, if Bitcoin does bounce here, it's not a lower low, eh? It's not a lower low. That'll be quite interesting. So patient, guys. Here's the entries. So if it comes back in, which I think it should, that's where you want to enter. The only reason you don't enter now is just because we've already worked out your risk to reward. So if you move this here, look how significantly it changes your risk to reward. So just from getting it here, look how it's sitting at a 124. And just by buying it a little bit later, look at the difference of what you're doing to your risk. All of a sudden, it's 2.5 now. That's not worthy of a trade. That's not worthy to take the trade. It must always be 1, 2, 3. So that's why it's the power of just being respectful to yourself to buy in a zone. Very important. How are we looking on the rest? How are we actually looking on Bitcoin?
Sheldon, there's a question about Cardano. Is it ready to buy now?
No. Cardano is in about 2 days. Remember, we're buying. So let me just explain this to you again. We're buying this on smaller time frames. I took both these trades on 1 hour charts. So this is a 1 hour wedge. Okay. The Cardano trade's a 4 hour. It's a bigger trade. So the way I like to do it is I'm using these smaller trades now to get from step 1 to step 2. And I'm saving the big trade, which is only going to be ready in 2-3 days, maybe a day. That's the one to get us from step 2 to step 3. So we're using the smaller ones now to get where we need to get for the first step. And then it's the Cardano one. I'll go through some more charts and see if there's maybe one more, but I don't want to. The more I do now, the more this thing hypes. So I'm just taking it nice and easy, guys. It takes a lot for me to sit up here and to do this live with you guys and to trade live. You know, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to put this there. So
Sheldon, just jumping in.
I'm just respecting.
There's a lot of questions on using the platforms. People, again, just go to Crypto Banter's website, go onto the playlists, and you'll see Sniper Masterclasses there. I saw a question on OKX. I'll just check that the OKX is in there, but otherwise it's on the videos on how to use the platform, how to set the stop loss, how to set the TPs. Make sure you get to this masses of good information on the masterclass. And most of the exchanges, I think we've done, Sheldon.
I see Michael Smith asking, should we short? No.
No,
Not shorting now. No shorting. No shorting, guys. The market's already been down for a while. It's only longs for now. Shorts are coming.
Hey, Craig, I just want to hop on there.
Don't want to. As soon as the market goes up, you want to short. As soon as it's going down, you want to long. Track. Work with the trend. The trend is your friend until it bends. Remember that. So that's a sure way to wreck yourself. As soon as it's going up, where do I start shorting? You know.
Just to hop on your previous train of thought there, Craig. So just know that for everyone in the call right now, the mods are in the Discord almost every day running sessions for people of all tiers of trading, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So if you need a session, reach out in the Discord as well.
Yeah. Perfect. So there really is everything set up here to help support you. Really don't like using Bybit. Binance is more user friendly. That's why there's different platforms.
Oh, go for it. Go for you choose which one you like. Yeah.
$300 up, Sheldon. Woohoo! That's from Tom, I think. Yeah, well done. Thanks, Marge.
Yeah, it's you thank me when it's banked. When it's sitting in your account and it's been taken, then you thank me. Until then, we still fight the battle. Come, Bitcoin. Give us pump.
Stock market opening 15, so that'll be interesting. Sheldon, it's looking. They're also looking. The futures are looking good as well. Also, kind of a break. It was not really a trend there, but breaking support resistance line on the Dow.
I'll look at futures for a sec.
These S&P.
There goes futures. Yeah.
Yeah. So we give the
higher low. That's
exactly
interesting. Very interesting.
A great day to have done this, Sheldon.
I felt it, bro.
This is with us.
I felt it exactly. Okay, it's nearly time. Let's get a quick phantom push. Let's take profits. And it's a successful day. And these aren't going to be 4-hour streams, guys. They're going to be an hour and a half, these sort of things, and just more frequently. That's the goal. Jump in, put in our stops, move our stop losses up, take profits, whatever, and then we do more of them. Not 3-hour sessions. Those were quite tiring.
Yeah, I know they didn't work. They
worked well. It's just tiring to sit on camera for 6 hours.
Okay,
Tell me
so
when-
then you move stop loss to entry, obviously on a leverage trade as soon as you can. Spot trade, you can be a little bit more, you can be a bit more easy, but when you're going to move like what you're getting now in Phantom, there's absolutely no reason not to have a stop loss.
I'd move it just under. So we got this hour here. So I'd move it under here. So our stops were previously here. So now probably around 36 cents. 36 cents. So it's just under. Yeah. So it's just under. So now your risk is, if you put anywhere in the box there, now it's nearly half. So.
But if you're on a leverage, you'd have stop loss at entry at least by now, Sheldon, on leverage trade.
You can, as long as if you're going to put it at entry now, that means you're TPing on this push now, because there is a likeliness it's going to come back to this box at some point. So it just means if you are going, so either you go under the low because you want to hold it for a little bit, but if you are going to move it to entry now, there is a likeliness that this is going to at some point go and then come back here. So there's a likeliness that you'll get stopped out. So if you are putting your stop at entry now, it means you're taking profit on this push now. And then you'll prep again for the next one. So yes, I agree. Now, hopefully Bitcoin can just go hit this box now quick, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Because that's where we should get a little bit of rejection. We shall see. The Bitcoin's just fighting this little high over here. It'd be good to get its first higher high on the 1 hour. So there we go. Let's through that. And I see it's probably stealing a little bit of thunder, Bitcoin. Yeah, the dominance going up a little bit.
It's going to be very interesting to watch the stock market. 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we can get some proper Vuma going there.
Are you enjoying this, guys? Put it in the chat if you're enjoying this. And it's a journey. Like, you've got tons of questions now. Take your time. This is I'm in this for the long run. This is the goal. Oh wow, look at the comments. Amazing. Love it, guys. Thank you for motivating us. It means a lot.
Sebastian, can't see your surname, Sundrol, I think, or Sundrol. Made my first trade today, thanks to Sheldon. Well done, guy. Well done, buddy.
Well done, bud.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Always nice to have someone hold your hand through the first lot, you know. Yeah, these questions are just flying here. Didn't get it, but loving it.
Okay,
I guess
we'll get the next one. Good.
Maybe didn't get the trade. Sorry, I thought you meant you didn't get the learning. Question that you take all profits on Phantom.
Yeah, I would. I want you to. So, what is your roadmap, guys? What is your roadmap? You know what I mean? What was the purpose of taking this trade? My purpose, for example, it's the $100, $200. So I'm doing that in 2 trades. So that means if I'm 50% up on my trade, I'm taking my profits. You know what I mean? That's the point of my first trade. But I know we have these questions of how long we should hold them. Just remember the plan before the trade, so that you know when to take. You should already know. Maybe some of you have already hit your target. If someone said they made $300, if that was your goal, like, you should be out. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it goes more or less. Like, what was your initial view of the trade? What was the reason for it? Tato should still get an entry. It's not running yet. I suppose I need to put this in the chat. So guys, just stop chatting for 2 seconds.
I've been posting your calls in the chat as we've been going.
Okay, I'm going to put this chart. Just stop chatting for 2 seconds. Let everyone get the chart. I know they've been getting it, but over here. Okay. I sent a direct message. Simon, you got the direct message from the sniper, brother. Okay. Oh, did the job numbers come out? No, it's tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow. Yeah, you muted, Craig.
I'm just checking now. 3 p.m. I don't see anything on the calendar. Tomorrow's the big day. 3:30 p.m. South African time. So is what's called non-farm payroll. Expect extreme volatility.
No, that's why we're going to TP on these pushes, because they really could just go to a bunch of crap tomorrow. It's so annoying, dude. Like, crypto used to be a little bit of its own. Now it just follows the stocks. Whenever Powell opens his mouth, then crypto just listens.
So what I do, I'm going to post it in the chat here for everyone, but I just use a website called Forex Factory. If you create a free account there and set your time zone, and then you go to the calendar, it will show you the events every day. And what you're looking for is US events that are flagged red. You'll see it very clearly. Like tomorrow, you'll see it. It's 3:30 our time. I check it every single morning. We check it for our trading because we need to be aware. That's the great crypto bubbles. Beautiful.
Let's not look at this one. Let's be positive. Let's be positive.
Exactly. So remember, with Forex Factory, just log in so that you can set your time zone. Then it'll be on it'll show it according to your time zone. If you go click that one now, you'll see tomorrow around 3:30 South African time. Work it out in yours. You'll notice it's called non-farm payroll, and anything USA flagged red, expect volatility. So I'm never in a leverage trade over those times.
So guys, I just want to explain one more thing here quickly. My screen's still shared, right?
Yeah.
So what we actually really want to see here is we want this to push, but I just really want some sort of another low. I just want to get momentum. So ideally, we're hoping at some point that it will push a bit more, but we do want the secondary low, even if it can make it now, just to give us a momentum line. Something to say that here's the target, but what's my emergency line? What if we don't get there? What am I using as that indicator? So I'm hoping to get this low at some point. Or just pump, give us a pump, man. Like, just take our profits. But either way, guys, do you see how much planning and thought goes into every trade? And patience, like Cardano, like I charted it, it's ready. And when that line breaks is when I take. So now I go spend time with my family, I go do stuff. Whenever I get my alert that time to trade is when I trade. That's a beautiful thing. So you don't have to allow crypto to consume your life. You can work around it. And like I said, let the market show you what to do. How's Runs live? He's got Gareth Holloway on. Should do good. It is. Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Even if
I wonder if we are stealing some of his audience. Okay, I think we're stealing a little bit of his audience. We're all about to fab, but I think he's going to come fight with me. Sheldon, why do you live trading? Where are my shows going? I'm joking.
Stock market opens in 5 minutes, and I think that's going to possibly push crypto up.
Yeah, it's look how much red we've been through. So just a little push makes sense. Or the higher low. That's the two we want. So for now, guys, stop loss update over here. Around about 36 cents for Phantom. And Theta is the same. There might actually be whoever never got their buys, you might get your buy. Probably looking around 97 cents to 97.5. That's probably going to be my area of where we want to buy.
Question from Jalami. Stock market's opening in 5 minutes, bud. Kurt, 17% gains. Well, Sheldon, you spoke about Carver this morning on your show. That's it's looking good as well.
Yeah, and yesterday, yeah.
We're hitting the 200 on the 4 hour, so it's looking good. Jobless numbers out. Okay, guys saying it again. I don't know where that came from. Okay, there's obviously something I've missed on the calendar. Oh, okay. I can see it was flagged as yellow. That's why I wasn't watching it. Unemployment claims. It's unemployment claims came out at 211,000, expected 195. So that's good. So I mean, it's such a sad. It's so sad that the market actually goes up when things are getting worse in the economy. But anyway, that's just life. Mama Sniper is always on teacher. Don't worry about that. That's her coin. Teacher trigger. I'm not sure if that's for sell or for buy. I'm just trying to read this long thing that Divinity wrote here. You can stop that. Stop losses is the bane of everyone's life, and there's no doubt about it, because at the end of the day, liquidity hunters know exactly where your stop losses are, because it's really the only places you can put them, so that they do come and hunt out those stop losses.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure a lot of stop losses were taken over the last 3 days there. From all that. Guys, by the way, my next Chosen Ones video is premiering. It's in an hour and a half. Please go watch it. I'd be very happy. Here's it here. Hot sauce. I had to eat hot sauce. It was wild. So if you search the Chosen Ones on YouTube, you'll find us. Please go watch. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. Let me know what you think. You can see our tile. Oh, hot sauce trivia. It will mean a lot, guys. Yeah, the Chosen Ones essay is what it is. It looks like this. We got nearly 70,000 views in our first month. Very happy. Very happy. Okay.
Caleb, your question there about does it matter which exchange you use on TradingView? You should use the exchange that you're trading on for sure. I mean, when you get down to leverage trading, you're going to find slight differences in the prices, but they can crush your trade, literally. So when you leverage trading, make sure that you do it somewhere, even if you're watching it on the Bybit platform or OKX, wherever it is, make sure that you actually have both. I mean, we always take the lead off of the main chart, like a Binance, whoever's got the most volume, but you do need to look at the details of your particular exchange. Did you pick out Carvo? Oh, yeah, you spoke about Carvo on the show yesterday and today. Just dropping, should be prep for re-entry. Yeah, we're definitely getting 15-minute pin drops at the top, pin drop candle pattern, so I always keep an eye out for them. Retracement tool again. Okay, we're going to have to wait. The Sheldon's screen's on there. Question there about future, perpetual, or margin. So basically, they're different, but they're similar. I mean, in futures, you can get higher leverage. Generally, margin only allows you about a 3x. The principle is different. It's a different set of charts. With margin, you actually are trading the token itself, where on futures you're basically using dollars to bet on the price movement. So I don't know if you went away and Jay, because you like using both.
Stock market has opened green. That should be positive.
Yeah, so generally when the stock market opens for me, I always put the chart on like a 5 minutes. So I just watch it for a couple of the 5-minute candles just to generally get the trend. Like if you look on the Dow now, there's a nice gap, which sadly will be filled most of the time on the day, like about an 80% chance of it being filled on the day, but within a short period of time, within a couple of days, they will come to fill that gap. They don't like that liquidity being left behind there. Interesting question there from Leon. When do you use normal RSIs versus stochastic RSIs? Look, they do throw up different results. Sometimes they are in sync with each other, but a lot of the time they're not in sync with each other. Personally, I use both, but probably stochastic RSI more. I love using the stochastic RSI for buying, and then I generally use the RSI on my selling. But just be careful that you don't get confused between the two. Rather stick with one in the beginning. Yeah. So Nick, that's just what was it, Nick? No, it was Ashley Evans. That's just what I do. I love the stochastic RSI for buying. For me, on my buys, I always use 15 minutes. This is just me personally, and I will only buy when that stochastic is on the floor, or close. You know, it's got to have been in there about to kink. And if I'm going to short, I always use my personal rule is I've got to wait for that stochastic to be on the roof. Because I know that 15 minutes influences it so much, but that's me personally. Why is your Twitch channel $5,000 a month? We don't have a Twitch channel as far as I know, Nick.
No.
Do we? No. Be careful of scammers, guys. People coming up to you as if they Sheldon on Telegram and everything else. That's not him, you know. What's the greatest 9% book you're reading, Maurice? So for me, I'm very much stuck on a guy called Tom Hogarth or Hogarth, and really I'm going through his videos and his stuff almost exclusively now. I love it because he's alive and with us, as opposed to Mark Douglas. Trading in the zone, guys. If you haven't read Trading in the Zone and you feel like the market's always out for you and it's always going to get you, or just go and look for a book called Trading in the Zone. You can either buy it, I'm sure, you can't get it in South Africa. So, but if you go on the net, you'll find a PDF copy of it. Golden Cross and Death Cross, okay, Caleb. So people that use that term Golden Cross and Death Cross very loosely. So effectively, it's the 50 moving average, simple moving average, crossing the 200 simple moving average, and ideally, it should be on the daily charts. So that is the true death cross and the true golden cross. I know that we've had a death cross, I think, with the weekly on Bitcoin, Jay. But I know major institutions always look at daily. But the death cross basically means, you know, we really now, you know, even though it's extremely late, we really are in a downtrend or really are in an uptrend.
Just remember that they are lagging. And if you look at the daily or even the weekly, it comes weeks after the price has actually moved to that 50 and the 20 cross.
Okay, I see some of those rising couple messages there. Bombay Trillion has a Twitch account. Is this the one? Sorry, either one of those guys that have Leon or Afrique or TC Curtin. Is this the one that's being charged for at $5 a month? If you want, you just post in the chat. Trading in the Zone, listening to it, great book. Yes, Kevin, you can listen to it. I prefer the printed version. I just think there's so much, you know, to learn from it. Watching it on a video, I'm not sure you're going to get it, but I guess that's up to you. Trade management entered Bitcoin long 10x at 22,900, 20% of account. Currently sitting with a minus 30% liquidation price. 12K-ish on the way down. I've been shorting alts to try and maintain that. You see, that's the problem, Tony, and for everyone else that's here. Once you land up with a bad entry or a bad trade, unfortunately, it's like a freaking disease. You know, it sits with you until it's finally over. Jay, your sound is off if you were talking. Looks like you were. It's like a bad rash. You know, it sits on your mind so long, you know, when you get into a negative trade, and it literally ends up affecting all of your trades. So, you know, the principle is rather use strong trade management, and it's me talking, I mean, Jason's probably the best at that. out of the three of us that are on the Zoom at the moment. He really is, you know, because that does bear down on you. Like you're trying to work ways the whole time of surviving your way out of that liquidity problem that you've got there. But an interesting question, Tony, and I hope you get what I'm saying. And I think you need to read trading in the zone. Benjamin Barber, so you take the stick as your new upward trend line. So with the trend line, you really can, what you're looking for is best fit. Remember, there's no wick. Okay, so so with the trend line, you really are looking for best fit. So sometimes it covers some of the bodies and some of the wicks, but the more touches you can get makes it more confirmed. Remember, there's no right and wrong. It is a trend line, and when that, however you draw it, it will, you know, it will change. So, you know, when the break of the trend line, you know, give or take, they're generally in the same area, but you'll start getting better and better at it as it goes on. So don't stress too much, but remember, best fit. Trying to leave my emotions outside the door. Yeah, Tony, gee, hard, very hard. You'll fight that forever. No, it's going to break out from a downtrend. You can't predict it. It's when it breaks the actual trend line. You're watching for price action to see that, you know. Bullish order blocks. No. We don't do anything like that. We're simply just watching the chart. Any trading books you guys would recommend? I don't think Viral Voodoo that you need trading books. This course is giving you the trading stuff. If you need anything, it's the mental side. Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. Again, is a good place to start. No, Bombay is free, so that's interesting. So, yeah.
It's Terry Lynn, the moderator. I've put Trading in the Zone audio book into the chat if anybody wants to get it there.
How are we doing? Are we printing or what? Okay, there goes data.
Printing. Your mom's happy. She's rubbing. She's preparing. It's not McDonald's tonight. Absolutely.
But amazing, guys. So I actually like this, where it's us three sitting, and I think Mama Sniper will be in the next one. But I think it's time for me. I'm going to update these trades, and then it's time for me to go home. So I'm going to explain to you guys this quickly. So just pay attention. Where I'm speaking about the two-step trade. So what I do think is, I think theta runs. You got an option now. It's either going to run to this point over here, which is a dollar, or it's going to run to this point over here first. Okay. If it gets to $1 and it starts to like slow down quite a bit and these sort of things, I would take TPs. I would take an early TP. Okay. And reason being is, like I said, I think it's going to come back here and then go. And if we're going to give this all away, we're going to sit here for hours and give all that away just for the next one. You know, I think it's wasting. So I would definitely take profits at $1, and there is a possibility of slightly higher. And then we prep, be a little bit patient, because what should happen after that is we should start to form a trend. The 1 hours are getting high. So if you look at the 1 hour RSIs, is a little bit more up in theta, but it is getting to a point where it's going to get high, and it's going to come down at some point. When that RSI gets to the bottom and we hold this box over here and we break a trend. So think about it now. Market goes up, starts to form a trend down, RSIs come down, right? When this turns up and this breaks the trend and turns up, you can re-enter the exact same trade for this one over here. Okay. So right now, keep my TP, my stop loss where it is. As it makes its way up, as soon as it gets to this high over here, I'll move my stop loss to entry. But for me, like what I really want you guys to do is to take profits. Take profits on the trade. If it does come first over here now, you can still enter the trade, only in the box, please, guys. I've given you the charts. Remember, when this RSI is at the top, it's time to always take profits. That's the big key for that one. Then we look at the phantom trade, looking good. When phantom gets anywhere between 38, 39 cents, this might be a TP, because your RSI, look at it. It is getting there. Then what I'm seeing, same thing. From here, come back down, and then we go for the higher one. RSI comes down, track it down. So what I'm trying to say is, even right now, if you're happy with the profits, just get your first trade right and then stop. Turn off your laptop, enjoy the night or the day with your family, and we come back tomorrow, okay? All I want you to do is win your first trade here. Win it. I don't care if it's a little bit, I don't care if it's a lot, just win your trade, and then we play it out again. So you've got the charts there, guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I don't know if Craig and Jay want to still stay on for a little bit, but I'm going to head my way. I need to go see my little girl. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this. Keep on Discord, and my goal is to do 2 a week. So markets are good tomorrow. We jump on again tomorrow. This is where I want to do the live trading. So thank you all. Much love to you all. And I'll see you all later. Jay, Craig.
Cheers.
Much love.
I think all the questions are answered for now, so it seems fine. But I think if we do this twice a week, it could work really, really well.
Absolutely. There was a question, where do you know where to take profit? Well, it's a combination. You look at the resistance lines for that particular coin. You look at the Fibonacci lines, secondly. And thirdly, you look at your stock RSI. Is it on the roof? So we use a combination of those three to find our take profit levels. What else is there? I would not short the break of the trend, because on a smaller time frame, we are in an uptrend at the moment. Remember, on a higher time frame, we're still heading down. So when I talk about short time frame, can be between 15 minutes right up to an 8 hour. We could be heading up to specific levels. And then once we reverse of those levels and you find the stock RSI is right on the ceiling on the 8 hour or the 12 hour, then those are the times where you start looking for shorts.
I see lots of comments there from people. The best way to learn is when we do these things live, because obviously the teaching is relative to the charts at the moment. So I'm pretty sure the mods will make this recording available, I think. Okay.
Craig, to answer your question, the stream is live on YouTube right now, and that is automatically up and running from this point onwards. But there is a recording as well, which will be recorded, edited, and made available later.
Okay, should we just take a few more questions there, Jay? Craig, can you speak about waiting for confirmations on trend breaks, pros and cons? Well, obviously you get the fake breakouts is obviously one of the cons that you do. I mean, what you want to try and look for is you're trying to find, when you're taking or looking at any trade, try and find more than one confirmation of your a reason for taking a trade. So let's say you've broken a trend line and you've got a supporting stochastic, possibly I really like is to watch horizontal support lines. You know, to an extent, they are probably more powerful even than a trend line, because the trend line, everyone's got a slightly different trend line, as I spoke to in the last question. But your horizontal support line, that area, I don't want to say a line, that area of horizontal support is very clear and easy to see generally once you get a bit of practice. So try and get confirmation on it. And then you go, but yeah, of course, breaking trend line can always break up and can be a fake out, you know, and come straight back in. So that's just one of the games. But you, as I say, the only way to get right is try and get as many confirmations as you can on your trades. Are you seeing anything else there, Jay? I use leverage, but it doesn't seem to pay leverage. I don't know, Jay, but I love the question. I mean, I love the comment. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. Remember, guys, I'm just using an example. If I've got $100 in a leverage account and I take it on a 10x, so it means that I'm trading with $1,000. Remember, your fees are based on $1,000, not $100. So remember that. So that always gets you, because suddenly the fees, they like can really hit you. Where's the masterclasses? On the website under crypto banter, under playlists, and then you'll see sniper masterclasses. There's a ton of them there.
When you move your stop loss to entry, if you're on leverage, I would do entry straight away.
As fast as you can.
Remember, your goal is to minimize losses at all times.
To convert my fiat to Tether on BitGet. I really have no idea. Maybe just Google on YouTube and just see. I don't know which fiat you've got. The two lines on the stochastic RSI, what's the difference? So just remember, when Sheldon talks about RSI and he shows, he's always talking about stochastic RSI. because he's not a big RSI user. So just remember that when you're listening to Sheldon. But the two lines, one is a much lower line. In other words, you'll notice that one is a more smooth out line than the other one. So the reason you're looking for the crosses is because you've got it's kind of a moving average, but effectively the one calculates on a shorter time frame, so you get that break quicker. So that's why there's two lines. What is the maximum to keep these trades regardless? What is the max to keep these trades? I don't understand that, Anir, but you need to go with your plan, you know. Thinking good night. I mean, if you bought Bitcoin at $100 and you're now $20,000, you can still keep it going. Map out horizontal support lines. Yes, I do map out horizontal support lines, and so does Jason. Do you ever use crypto screener tool in trading before trades? We don't generally use. A lot of people use the screening tool, absolutely, to try and identify trades. Yep, we generally don't. There's just enough with the coins that we normally work with.
Question is, what would your max stop loss be as a percentage when using a 10x? Remember, with leverage is a whole different type of strategy. And remember that for every percentage it goes up, you obviously going to make 10 times more. But every time that trade goes down in the opposite direction that you want it to go, you're going to be making 10x loss. So if you put your percentage stop loss at a 1% below your entry, you're going to be losing 10% of your capital. So entry is very key with leverage. It has to be at a break of trend or on a support line. That is where your correct entry is. So you would put your stop loss just below a support line, for example, with using leverage.
Sarah, I see your comment there about course is amazing. My husband is years in crypto, but a terrible teacher. So let us be the teacher and let him do what he does well. And I'll leave it at that. Will you use different hour charts to determine horizontal support? Very good question from Brian Bilbao. Yes, absolutely. The higher time frame support and resistance lines, and it's the same with trend lines. They are always stronger and always better. But if you're trading on a short time zone, you might be looking at, but always, you need those daily, those 4 hour, to be 1 hour support. I'm talking about horizontal support lines. Yes, definitely. Is Ludo, is volume a good confirmation? Absolutely. Volume can support any movement in candlesticks or candlestick movements up or down. Absolutely.
And it's very important with a breakout of a trend. So if you got your descending trend and it comes with volume, that's another confirmation that the trend is now going to reverse.
Yeah, that's as far as you answer the question. They're just piling up at the bottom. Daniel Dorosmay, Dorosani. If the stochastic crossover, I'm not quite sure of the question, but you're always looking for the cross of the stochastic. So when the two lines cross each other, for me is an important one because, and what I'm noticing at the moment in the market, and I'm looking at specifically on the buys, as I said to you, I always like buying when the 15-minute stochastic is at the bottom. The moment what you always see is that stochastic comes down, you get the cross, it bounces up, and then it seems to double bottom. So at the moment, but that's just the market at the moment. I wait for that double bottom. When do you move stop loss to entry? I think we've discussed that a lot. So on leverage trading, as soon as you can when you're in profit, but just make sure you've got it there. Do you base your horizontal levels on fib levels? No, but if they do coincide, how much more confirmation is that? No, do it without it and then look at your fib levels. Oh, sorry, you can't show any of the charts right now. Does the candle need to print before you move stop loss? Yes, depending on the time frame, but I'm generally watching on leverage trading 15 or 5 minutes. I'm watching that stop loss for sure. On spot trading, no, not that short a time limit. What would your maximum, you answered that question, Jay, what's your maximum stop loss on 10x, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get to the bottom. Sorry, I'm going to skip a whole bunch here. Is it true that another confirmation Okay, so Daniel Jonesman, again, you're asking, you know, there's another strategy that you're bringing in. You know, it's what happens if the 7 MA breaks through price? You know, some people are going to use 7, some are going to use 5, some are going to use 4, some people are going to use 20. Find your strategy and what works for you and stick with it. And that's why I would suggest working with what we've done. But of course, you're welcome to look at whatever you want. Everyone's got their idea. And trust me, at some point, they're all right. Everyone's strategy works at some point in time. It's a good rate for 15-minute RSI to reset for confirmation 4 hour. Yes, I definitely do that. So even if I'm looking on a 4-hour trade and I'm wanting to enter, or even on a 1 hour, if I'm looking for a long term, I always wait for that buy on that 15-minute. But that's just me. It's not a good place to trigger sell order. Oh, I can't even. Cohort 3 recording. I don't know. One of the mods can answer that question. On spot, you'd have to. Sorry, it seems like he's answering a question of someone else's. I think we're getting done there, Jay.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we're going to do more of these. We'll do a lot more of these. And then hopefully, you know, the best way to learn is to learn it as you're going. I mean, I'm just having a look now quickly at the Dow. So, I mean, the Dow hasn't carried on trending up. I mean, it's gapped, but we're kind of consolidating from what I can see. So keep an eye on that because we might go back and fill that gap, you know, underneath us. I'm looking at Bitcoin on the 1 hour. I see we're getting a pin drop on the 1 hour. So watch for reversals there. So if you look on the 15 minutes, I always look, it's one of the big indicators that I use is when you're getting an uptrend going up, I always look for that reversal type candle. On Bitcoin 15 minutes, you can see it 1, 2, 3 candles ago. So I'm not saying that it is a reversal, but it's an indication of a potential reversal. So watch for those candlestick patterns. Is ETH showing the same thing? Yeah, ETH showing exactly the same pattern. So just watch because now it needs to quickly come back and move up again. And now when you've got that pin drop, if you look on 15-minute ETH, not this current candle, 2 candles back, you'll see it clearly. You often get come back, you've got to watch for the double top there. But if you break that, then of course continuation happens.
So what Craig means about pin drop, if you have a look at Ethereum, for example, in the 15-minute, there's a long wick to the upside. So and a small body to the downside. So what that means is that sellers are entering the market and pushing that candle down. So it's a clear indication when you get 2 or 3 candles next to each other with those long wicks to the upside, that sellers are now entering the market.
Yeah, so what's important is even if the candle is green, which it shows like that on, it doesn't mean it's a bullish candle because you've got to read what the candle pattern is telling you. So you've got the pin drop, so you've got that long, it was coming, we're going on an uptrend, and suddenly you get a long candle coming up, which means the bulls are pushing it higher, but then what happened is the bears grab control, they force the bulls back down, and you land up with that pin drop candle. So you something like this on the upside, or the other way around on the downside. So it means bears might be taking control. So we want the bulls to get back in and take control there. And I think we're going to take the lead from the stock market on that. So I don't know what your thoughts are. Yeah.
The S&P is